I really enjoyed the event. I think it's really a great initiative. It was an amazing event. And if I could go to every single one of them, I would. But being based in South Africa, it's a little bit far away, so it becomes a little bit challenging. But it was really great, and I would encourage anybody that has the opportunity that can attend. They should try and attend. It was good. Everyone is really friendly. Everyone is willing to share their knowledge. You get to meet some really incredible people and some dive leaders in their fields, and obviously engage and have those conversations with them and ask them questions. And yeah, as I said, everyone is just so willing to share information. I did. So there was a couple of people that I already obviously knew, but there were some new people that you kind of see them and some of the work that they're doing, but you don't really know them in person. So it was an opportunity to get to know them a little bit better, connect a little bit more, and maybe follow a little bit more closely the work that they're doing. I think the overall event was just so great. All of the presentations were really good. It was so diverse. There were so many different topics that people shared. So I think that was really great. I think also there was a lot of time for questions, which was really good. So you really got to engage with the speakers and ask them questions. But I think the topic that stood out to me was Simon's talk on diving with hydrogen. Very, very, very interesting. Obviously, deep diving is something that is close to me, so that really sparked a lot of interest on diving with hydrogen, and I think it's probably the way of the future. At some point, if we want to go deeper, it's something that we all need to get right. I think it's a way of sharing information. I think there's a lot of information discussed, a lot of new research, new theories, and it's a way of sharing that information with all the other divers and the general diving population that you would otherwise maybe not get to know some of these things that are happening. So I think it's a really great initiative for, as I said, for everybody, and really, if anybody is able to attend, they really should try and attend. Um, I enjoyed Lisbon. It was the first time I'd been to Lisbon, so it's a beautiful city. Lots of things to do. So that was really, really nice to get the opportunity to explore Lisbon a little bit. Also the event itself, just the way it was set up, it was run really, really well. Everyone was kept to time on their topics, so that there was enough time for questions, which I think was really good because often you'll attend a talk and people go way over, and then you don't get the opportunity to ask questions. So I think that worked well. And the networking opportunities. There was the dinners that were set up in the evening. The first night for the speakers and the second evening for everybody. So that was a really great opportunity to meet new people. I think I enjoy being in a cave environment. I enjoy the quietness, the darkness. It's very peaceful inside the cave. So I think that's why I really, really like cave diving. Yeah, so I always had at the back of my mind that I wanted to dive to around 250 meters. That's a goal that I'd had. I didn't always envision it would be in a cave though. I thought that it might be in the sea, and I started doing the preparations in the sea. And then I realized that it wasn't going to work. In South Africa, we have strong currents, big swells. Doing a dive like that was just not going to be possible. So I had to look at the options, and the only other option in South Africa was to do it in a cave. So that's how it ended up being in a cave. But it was not my first decision to do it in a cave. So you're actually not thinking about much. You're really focused on the dive that you're doing. There's a lot to check to make sure everything's going well. So there's not really much time for your mind to wander. Really just focused on the dive that you're doing on the way down. On the way up, you start to wander a little bit, but then it's a bit better because you're starting to go up and get closer to the surface. I'd say cave diving is a really great sport to get into, but make sure you're ready to move into the sport. So make sure you have enough experience. Take the time to get the experience you need and the training you need, and don't rush into it. If you follow the rules, you have the experience, you have the training, it's relatively safe. So just take your time to get there. I think that becomes really challenging because obviously we want to dive, we want to go and explore caves, we want to go, in my case, I want to go a little bit deeper. So I also use my teammates to keep me in check. Sometimes I have some really out there ideas, let's go do this. And sometimes they're like, whoa, not yet. Let's practice a little bit or let's think about it a little bit more. So I definitely use my team members and my diving colleagues to sort of keep me in check. And also I look at the risks involved. So I'm very much, we have to look at the risks and what are the risks and if, there's really, really high risks, then we need to work on maybe mitigating those risks a little bit for more before we move forward with the dive.
Okay.
Oh, that's a difficult question. I think maybe women in technical diving and cave diving. I know the sport is growing, but I think it's still very much a male-dominated sport, technical diving and especially sort of deep technical diving. So I think getting more women into the sport is quite an interesting conversation.